Yo yo yo, Soup Squad! It's Nimbo Soup back with another video. A couple of days ago, we received the La Royale update, and it seems this update has been a massive one. Among all the other stuff that lazy old Nimbo hasn't even read about, I was super excited for this update because, as an American main, I haven't gotten a new top tier plane since the release of the F-16. So, I decided to grind the Bombcat as quickly as I could right after the update released. 7 hours of fun, aka absolute suffering later, here we are. Now, before we get into it, let me kinda set some expectations here. Before unlocking this thing, my impressions was that it was going to be an F-14 Early with slightly better engines, AIM-9Ls, and a Phoenix that might actually hit people if you fire it right. Which, depending how you look at it, these upgrades could be very impactful, but they're not. And we'll get into all about why that is soon, so stick around. I'm going to throw in here that I never really got my hopes too high that this thing would be game-changing. Let's start off with why that is. At the end of the day, we have to remember that this is top tier. If you haven't seen my most recent video, basically ranting about top tier and why I personally enjoy props more, check it out. It will help put this point into perspective. A slight engine performance increase is not going to affect your gameplay almost at all in top tier. I mean, yeah, obviously if I had the choice, I'd choose the better engines. But in top tier, 99% of the time, especially in a plane like the F-14 that bleeds speed pretty quickly, whenever you start turning your dogfighting is when you just get third-partied and die. Not to mention that the slight engine performance increase I'm discussing isn't even really a good thing. From what I hear, source, trust me bro, the low-speed thrust of the F-14B is better than the Early, yes, but the high-speed thrust is kinda noticeably worse. And personally, in top tier, I'd prefer a faster top end speed over extra dogfighting performance. Now, let's get into the AIM-9Ls. I'm not gonna lie, this is a very nice upgrade. Probably the most attractive upgrade of the F-14B. And I really don't want to be a hater here, but most, if not almost all, of my missile kills come from launching at people that aren't paying attention, or don't expect it, or aren't in a position to be able to dodge it. This being said, as long as it isn't like an AIM-9B or some random shit missile, does it really matter what kind of missile you're getting the kill with? The AIM-9L pulls much harder, or at least it seems to, than the AIM-9H on the Early does. Plus it feels like it has a better seeker head, having more crazy tracks that you wouldn't expect it to make. But like, other than that, from what I can remember, they're pretty comparable missiles in terms of other important things like bore sight, flare resistance, and burn time/distance. By the way, I haven't confirmed this because I'm too stupid and lazy to read update notes, but it feels like they decreased the burn time on the AIM-9L. If you don't know what this means, basically, it has less range now. Anyways, the last little upgrade I want to talk about here. The infamously bad, in-game, yet dopamine dispensing Phoenix missile. The Phoenix has always been a favorite of mine for no reason other than it's meme-worthy. It used to work for me more, and now, I think, people are just getting smarter. Most people fly low to the deck, use the terrain, etc. The people that don't usually launch their missiles and begin to notch. So, nowadays, I find myself getting very few Phoenix kills. This is one of the reasons, I hate to admit it, I was so excited for this missile. I was trying my best to not have high expectations, which I did manage to do, but my hopes were absolutely soaring. My hopes at dopamine-inducing, fire-and-forget 50-kilometer kills. Unfortunately, the update has not made the enemy teams any dumber. They're still flying low, using terrain to mask from radar, and avoiding all smoke trails from missiles, so not much has changed with the introduction of this missile at all. Yeah, maybe the seeker head is a little bit better, honestly maybe it isn't. I can't tell because nobody really dies to Phoenixes anymore, that's like so 2022. Oh yeah, And I mean, I guess the AIM-7M is cool. To be completely honest, I don't have a clue if this is an upgrade or not over the AIM-7F. I'm sure it slightly is, on paper at least. For this video's purposes, I'm just gonna act like they're the same missile. Might I throw in here, though, that for whatever reason, the AIM-7Fs tend to treat me better. This is true for the AIM-7Ms on the F-16 as well. I have no idea why this is, please don't ask. It doesn't sound like it should be true, and I'm honestly not sure why I'm even putting this in here. The biggest part of it is that AIM-7Fs actually tend to go for targets that I have locked instead of for some other random particle in the complete opposite direction of my lock like the AIM-7Ms do. Maybe they're just too good. Oh well, skill issue, should have side climbed. Something else I want to mention real fast is the 12.0 BR. I don't think we're really at a point this matters yet over 11.7. It's pretty much the same matchmaking. But in the future it might. I'm not going to speculate on if I think it's going to be good for 12.0 in the future. I will say though, my opinion is that the AIM-9Ls alone, aka the best upgrade for the Bombcat over the Early, might not be enough to justify a BR increase. Again, we'll see what the BR compression is looking like in the future. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. So, should you get it? If you want me to be real with you here, my honest answer is no. Grind time aside, the Bombcat really doesn't present anything different or quirky or unique. If it was after the F-4E or something, maybe I'd change my mind. But the fact you have to research the Early before you can research this one turns me off of recommending spending a lot of hours of your life for nothing really unique. To flip the tables here though, I totally understand researching it for the purposes of being an F-14 fanboy. The F-14 is certainly a plane of all time. Just understand going into it that you're not really going to get rewarded for that grind with anything much better than the Early is for Air RB. Also keep in mind that all of this stuff is subject to change in the future. Honestly, hopefully it does. According to the Snail's roadmap, more vehicles will be grouped, and certain grouped vehicles will take significantly less RP to get. So, I could see a scenario in which the Bombcat gets grouped with the Early and is half off RP or something. In this instance, maybe grinding it is more justifiable, but this is all alleged and preliminary, so we'll see what actually happens. By the way, I'm liking the roadmap so far. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a link down below. One thing I would definitely like to see at least be addressed, though, on top of the roadmap, is real shitter. I mean real shatter. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. Actually, no, I got a snail in my throat. Hey, yo, wait, hold up. I honestly think it's a much bigger issue than we even realize. Make the Vulcan great again. The sound is an okay start. Anyways, that's about all I've got for this video, folks. If you enjoyed or found some useful information here, please consider dropping a like and leave a comment letting me know what it was. While you're at it, consider subscribing. Check out the description for a bunch of important links I'm not going to bore you mentioning here. If you need a squadron end game, and you have 5+ matches in any realistic battles game mode, join =Nimbo=, aka the Soup Squad. We've got some more space to fill, and we'd love to have ya. Now that all of you have clicked off of the video, you guys know the deal. This is Nimbo Soup, Nimbo signing out.